We'll handle this.
We'll take the long way.
Hey, what's going on everyone? We're back here with another 4K review, or a review in general. Now I'm changing how I do these slightly. I won't be discussing the plot as such. Just how I feel about the movie itself, should you watch it, pros and cons, things like that. It'll be short and sweet, because I don't like these videos to drag out too long, because I sort of like doing this to encourage people to go watch it. And today we're doing Star Wars Episode 1, or Episode 4, whatever you want to call it, but... So the first edition of the Skywalker Saga, of Phantom Menace. Though George Lucas started in the middle, that was his choice, and I feel like it worked well overall. But we're doing... So with the 4K edition of this film, there are quite a fair few amount of little tweaks here and there. They make it look a lot better. Because in the Blu-ray copy, it looked like it aged horrendously. And I kind of felt like a lot of the effects look out of date. Now, the 4K does fix this to an extent, but you can't always fix it. It's tricky. Now, see, I've got the 4K copy here. And it does have, like, special editions. Like, there's a lot of bonus content stuff. You get a Blu-ray copy, the 4K copy, and a lot of extended scenes. Which I thought worked out pretty well. Now, I've got a full review on Letterboxd, but even then, that's not that detailed. Because this one, I just wanted to keep kind of simple. Now, there's... Overall, I actually really enjoyed the film. I actually gave it 3.5 stars/7, depends if you want to go out of 5 or out of 10. Like, Qui-Gon Jinn's actually one of my favourite Jedi Masters, which is weird, because I know a lot of people sway towards Kenobi or Yoda. Or even Mace, but Qui-Gon, I liked the way he would sort of let the Force guide him to what needed to be done instead of trying to control it or prevent it from doing things like finding Anakin. He believes with the will of the Force, not just a pure coincidence. Now, this is where quite a controversial topic comes into Star Wars Episode 1, was midichlorians. Science versus religion. Good or bad? They didn't bother me as such. It didn't ruin it for me. Anywho, but I will say that my little theory on why the attitudes were so different between Episode 1 and Episode 4. At the time of Episode 4, the Jedi are basically extinct. And the only Force wielders really well known to the Empire is the Emperor. Or, most people don't even know who Vader is. Like who he originally was. Actually, when the 4th film was made, Anakin and Vader weren't considered the same person yet. That hadn't been done. So that's why some of the dialogue seems a bit off at times. So, with that said, I actually believe by the time... So you got about 20 years between the 3rd film and the 4th. So, with the Jedi basically extinct... The attitude towards this Force is either forgotten, made a myth, or even seen as a religion, and isn't well known or understood. Like, the Empire didn't think much of it, because if it was so great, why were the Jedi defeated? It's not considered that much of a threat. Now, I guess George Lucas felt the need to explain why Anakin was special. Why he needed something to show that he was the chosen one. So I think he went for a scientific way, which I like. I don't see a massive issue with it as such. It could have been better, but I don't know. They do say he's got more midichlorians than Yoda, and this of course brings in how was Anakin born. Now if you go by legends, I believe it was either Darth Plagueis or Darth Sidious conceived him with the will of the Force. Which kind of... It's like he got a lot of his influences from the story of Jesus, so like he pretty much being a chosen one of some description, and with the Virgin Mary giving birth to son without conceiving, which is kind of what happened with Anakin. I'm pretty sure in legend, yeah, he was conceived with the Force, because Palpatine himself had this all planned out from the beginning. He bred Anakin from day one to be his Padawan eventually down the track. And I actually think the actor that played Anakin portrayed Anakin quite well. He got a lot of hate and actually ended up going off the grid, and he's now schizophrenic because people treated him so horribly because of that film. He was a 9-year-old kid who didn't get paid much and was treated badly. Same with the actor of Jar Jar. He basically went underground due to the hatred of that character. Now, we'll discuss Jar Jar as a character, but honestly, he's comic relief. I don't think you're meant to take him seriously. I don't think you're even meant to think much of him. I think he's just there as the comedic relief. Yes, the dialogue for Jar Jar was fucking horrendous, but George Lucas hasn't been an amazing person when it comes to dialogue ever. Like, it's always been kind of corny. Even Alec Guinness, the actor of old Obi-Wan, thought the dialogue was fucking garbage. Yeah, so he did not like the Star Wars films that much. He didn't even understand the role properly, but still did an unbelievable performance. So with Episode 1, once that came around, I actually watched them in order of release date. I thought Maul was really cool. He was a good addition. Then you had Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. They had a really good dynamic. They worked really well together, and it was cool to see Obi-Wan as still a Padawan. Borderline Jedi Knight, but still a Padawan. And I honestly liked the first film more than the second. Attack of the Clones was good. It gives us a lot of decent information, but it's also quite... It feels long at times, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So with Episode 1, there are times in the middle section of the film where it feels very dragged out. For example, when they're on Tatooine, they're trying to work out how they're going to get back on the ship, and that felt very dragged out at times, but it's not enough for me to hate it. That's why I gave it about 3.5 on Letterboxd, because honestly, like, I try to review films as a standalone almost, so comparing to other films, not a series. And there are some fucking god-awful films out there. And yeah, so I do recommend this. I feel like it is a good addition, and the treatment it gets, I feel like, isn't really fair, and it does mimic a lot of the fourth film. So finding a young kid that is sort of the chosen one and who's gonna bring balance. Luke and Annie both found on Tatooine, but borderline poverty or slavery, but it's and a young kid that shows amazing skills as a pilot, which Anakin and Luke both did. So, other than like the pacing being a bit off at times and the CGI being a bit, for 1999, I feel like it aged okay enough to watch. The 4K does fix some things, but not enough. Not amazing amounts, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too high, but I do recommend giving it a go. If you have previously watched it and thought nothing of it, watch it again, and maybe look into some of the lore to sort of get a background on everything. It will give you a different perspective on the film itself. And I feel like most of George Lucas's choice in story writing went quite well. Cons, I guess, could be... It does drag in the middle, and it does feel a bit cliche at times, or like when Anakin like saves the day at the end, I'm not going to say how, but it's a bit like, oh yeah, cool, 8-year-old kid pulling off absolute bullshit, but that's Star Wars for you. It's not meant to be this amazingly written story. It's well written, but it's not amazing, blow out of your mind, it deserves Oscars brilliance. Like, I wouldn't compare it to something like, I say put in the same bundle as, say, Marvel MCU's, Lord of the Rings, DC, and I'm like, maybe not quite different. So, yeah, I think after a while I considered this a good thing to really review and sit back and watch, and watching it again, I really enjoyed it. But I think, I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments to sort of tell me what you felt about the film and what you thought could have been done better, or what you enjoyed or what you disliked. But for now, we'll sign off. Once again, give it a watch. It's worth a shot. And I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye for now. look at that at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. Now, a shout out to my lovely Patreons, all of you. You make the channel better. You help fund my dream. This is my passion. Let's work together and build this community up, shall we? I am also on other social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. If you enjoy those things, come say hello. Everyone is welcome. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Good night.